Hi everyone, it's been a while I know, but let's go back to talking about Slam Dunk. So the place where we last left off was with Hanamichi and Shohoku going through their first few games with a big exhibition match against Ryonan. Now we're in the middle of what I'm gonna call the first half of Slam Dunk. Let's look at the next few arcs of the story and see how this series is very rapidly creeping up to being one of my favorites. Following this first quarter of the story, one thing I do want to speak about is the new characters introduced to the Shohoku squad, Miyagi and Mitsuri. We first get introduced to Miyagi, a second-year student who is quite talented in basketball, even with his shorter height, especially when compared to Hanamichi and Akagi. Miyagi is quite like Hanamichi in the beginning, as he too has a crush that causes him to act irrationally and do anything for her, even if it's out of reason. This character is Ayako, the manager of Shohoku's basketball team. It's interesting to see Inoue go this route when introducing new characters into the mix. He's not making anything different, any characters unique in their traits, but rather creating characters who may be different in some ways and extremely similar in others. It's a refreshing change from the usual, this character is blank breakdown we get in other series. The other character I'd like to speak about is Mitsui, a character we get introduced to in a different way from everyone else, where he actually starts off as an antagonist to the story. He's an aggressive third year who has issues with Shohoku's basketball team for some reason, and we as the readers are unaware of what that is at this point. Mitsui then begins picking on his underclassmen, talking down on the sport of basketball and getting Hanamichi and the others quite upset, ultimately leading to a brawl in the gymnasium. This brawl then gets broken up by Akagi and the other third-year students. We get to see more of Akagi's leadership skills in this altercation, where he is able to stop the brawl and get everybody to pay attention to what he has to say. He even gets Mitsui to stop fighting. It's in this whole sequence where we find out Mitsui was actually a member of the basketball team himself in the past, and was quite a good player at that. Following a brief flashback of Mitsui in middle school, we get shown Mitsui's skills as a basketball player, where he eventually is deemed the MVP for his division. His basketball career was cut short, however, with an injury causing him unable to play for a few years. Following a final interruption by Coach Anzai, Mitsui gets asked if he would like to play basketball again, to which he breaks down saying he does. And we have yet another new member join the team. I want to use this opportunity to chat about Coach Anzai for a bit, as I didn't really discuss him much in the last part, but he's a very interesting character to see whenever he appears in the story. There's definitely more to his character we haven't seen yet, as we see characters show nothing but respect for him throughout the story, and everything he says seems to have some weight to it, as brief as it is. He is the butt of most jokes, especially when Hanamichi rubs his chin or plays with his fat, but there's also a lot more to his character I'm excited to see as the story moves forward. So now we have two new teammates at Shohoku, and with Sakuragi, Rukawa, Akagi, Miyagi, and Mitsui, we now have our new starting lineup, and the next chapter of the story begins. Now I won't spend too much time speaking in detail about each game in this next portion, as there isn't much to say here, but there are a few points I'd like to discuss. First, we get to see the starting lineup showcase their talents in various ways. Akagi is the strong center of the team, Miyagi is the guard, and his shorter build allows him to move quickly on the court and avoid other players. Mitsui is a great forward, as he is known for shooting threes extremely well, getting almost every shot in no matter what. And Rukawa is an all-arounder with talent in every aspect of the sport. Hanamichi, on the other hand, is still our cocky and aggressive idiot who can't seem to hold himself together when he's on the court. This leads to him getting fouled out at every game he's a part of, causing those around him to laugh at or scold him the more he's on the court. I got a few comments in my last video saying that Sakuragi's character is normally one that people find annoying and unbearable, but with him it seems to work, and with his next portion of the story, I tend to agree. Normally, I'm not one for aggressive, cocky characters in stories who think they're the best at what they do, but with Hanamichi it somehow works. And I think this is a testament to how Hanamichi's character is written. This cockiness feels like a means to an end. I read these moments with Hanamichi expressing himself as a genius when he's clearly not, and I can only wait to see him get humbled in some way. He's still a lovable character, and I do enjoy his moments on page, but I'm just waiting for that moment where this cockiness gets tested in a way that will make him calm down and take a good look in the mirror, and I feel that's gonna come soon. Following the first few matches of the arc, we now get into one of the bigger matches in the first half of the series. This match against Shoyo, one of the top teams in the prefecture. This match showcases the growth Shohoku has had as a team, growing quite significantly and in a rather short amount of time, all things considered. Their teamwork has increased greatly, and it showcases in some great place throughout the game. I won't be giving a play-by-play of the various chapters in this match, but all I'm gonna say is please give the manga a read if you want to see some great action sequences and basketball playing. Shohoku ends up beating Shoyo in the match, and this moves them up onto the final game of this section, the one against Keinan. Now, Kanan are the toughest team that Shohoku has fought up until this point. There are quite a few members of this team that are parallels to our starting lineup. Kanan is a formidable team that I can see has just as much power in their plays as Shohoku does, and this match really puts our boys to the test. I also don't want to get into the details of this match as well, so go read or watch Slam Dunk already. But what I can say is that this battle between the two teams is one of the most entertaining experiences I've had while reading manga or watching anime. It's non-stop action, there are multiple twists and plays that happen throughout, and you as the reader really don't know what will happen in the game up until the very last second. This game against Kanan also really shows Hanamichi's growth, pushing him to play harder and think more about his actions. Up until this point, he was act first, think later, but throughout the game, he wasn't able to do anything by continuing with that method, so you get to see him stop and breathe a few times, ultimately leading to him growing as both a player and a character throughout the match. Now, I want to talk about one very critical moment in the game that really ends up being the climax of this portion of the story, and that is when Hanamichi makes the last play of the game. He gets the ball. There's seconds left on the clock, and Akagi is ready to make the final game-winning move. Hanamichi takes the breath and passes the ball to a player on the opposing team, causing Shohoku to lose the match against Kanan. Even though Hanamichi has made great progress throughout the story and the game itself, he still makes a huge mistake in a very critical moment of the game, and this causes Shohoku to lose. We see the shocked faces on everyone in the story except Hanamichi. We as the reader then get to witness a phenomenal and heartbreaking panel, where Akagi grabs Hanamichi's hair and tells him to stop crying. In the entire sequence before, we get to see everyone's reaction of the shot and Shohoku's loss, except for Hanamichi. Everyone else is either shocked, angry, or sad at what just happened, but we don't know what Hanamichi is feeling in this moment. Once we do, it's as heartbreaking as it can get. The confident, loud, optimistic character we all know and love has finally shown some weakness, and the captain of the team does nothing but comfort him throughout. This scene really shows Akagi's great leadership skills as well, where any emotion he may be feeling at the moment get put aside for him to help his teammate, who is obviously in pain at the current moment. The following chapters go on with the aftermath of this match. Hanamichi's down in the dumps at first, but gets cheered up and told that even though this match ended with a loss, he can't let that overshadow all the hard work and great plays that preceded it in the end. Following this interaction, Hanamichi shows up to the next practice rocking a new haircut, showing some symbolic growth that he needs to take things more seriously moving forward, even though he's still Sakuragi and therefore not serious. With this, the first half of Slam Dunk has ended. I really enjoyed this portion of the story as it introduced us to some great characters, established our main cast, and provided some good progress in a constant pace when compared to some other shonen series. I'm sorry if this portion and video weren't as detailed as some of my others, but I feel it would be a disservice to the story if I didn't let it speak for itself. So, if you aren't convinced yet, I highly recommend that you experience the story for yourself, as it's growing rapidly to becoming one of my all-time favorites. Okay, I know it's been a while and I'm sorry. Life has just gotten in the way for the past few months, but I'm back now and ready to get going on some more videos. I also spent this time thinking of some ideas I have for future videos and where I want to take this channel moving forward. If you've stuck around to the point of this video, I thank you. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe so that YouTube can get me back on the algorithm horse that we all know and love. The next few videos will be the continuation of my Slam Dunk journey, and I already have some more lined up following those. Also, for some of my current subs or people who have watched my previous videos, I did a little channel name rebrand. As much as I love Babagushu, I just felt that Cinnamebun flows a bit better and can stick with people more. So moving forward, my channel and overall brand will be following Cinnamebun and not Babagushu. I hope everyone likes it. I'll be back with more videos soon, and thanks for sticking with me. Have a good day.